Hi everyone, welcome back to Annual Conference Live at 0 to 3. I'm Will Hallex. Thank you for joining us for our very first fireside chat of the day. If you missed our sunrise yoga session at conference today, don't worry. We're going to get you started off with your day with a mindfulness moment with 0 to 3's very own Maria Gehl. She's our project director for mindfulness in early childhood. Maria, thanks for being back with us.
Thanks, Will. I'm happy to be here again.
And so I understand you have some things to share with us about brain development and meditation and mindfulness.
Yep. Yeah, I just we'll do a little meditation practice today, which is kind of a foundational mindfulness practice. And what we're learning from the research is that these kind of practices really change our brain. So some of you might be familiar with like the brain-hand model. This is kind of a really handy, basic model for the brain with the wrist and the arm kind of representing our brainstem and spinal cord. And then the thumb area being our limbic system, where that fight or flight response resides and our emotional reactions. And then when we close our fist, it represents the cortex that kind of wraps around that part of our brain. And this part in particular, the prefrontal cortex, is where a lot of our decision-making, higher thinking, those executive functions we talk about, so important for children to start developing, reside. So what we're learning a lot about how mindfulness impacts the brain in really positive ways. And one way is that we start making connections between our prefrontal cortex and our limbic system. So when we get upset, we kind of do this, like flip our lid and start reacting from our emotions. And we lose some connection to that higher thinking. So practicing mindfulness can really strengthen our ability to keep that prefrontal cortex online so we can make good decisions even when we're upset. So this morning, we're just going to do a little mindful meditation practice. And one of a foundational piece is really using something to anchor our attention. And so a lot of times we use the breath, but we can also use sounds. And because we're in this noisy space, I think using sounds today will be really helpful. And so when you're practicing, it's good to kind of sit upright, like take a dignified or awake seat, but be comfortable. And if you're on the floor, near the floor, you can stand and just feel your feet on the floor. And then if you feel comfortable closing your eyes, you can do that. Or you can just lower your gaze to something, a still point in front of you on the floor. Just begin by noticing how you're feeling internally, noticing if there's any emotion or a busy brain, just being okay with that. Starting to tune in to sounds. Could be the sound of my voice. You might have sounds in your office or home where you are. Just think about letting the sounds kind of come to you and being with them for a moment or two. And it's okay if you get distracted. That really happens a lot. And just bring your attention back to listening. And that action of bringing back your attention is really what mindfulness is. Noticing when we're distracted and coming back. And you might end your practice with just a deep breath, and you can come back online. And that's it. Really simple, but often hard because our brains are busy and we get taken out of our focus a lot. So when we practice coming back to that focus, that's what starts rewiring our brain for attention and self-regulation.
Maria, thanks so much. That was great.
Thanks.
This is an activity that you can come back to anytime, as Maria said, and this video is going to be archived, so if you ever want to come back to it for this sort of guided session, you can on our Facebook account, 0 to 3. We'll also be having more fireside chats later today, so we hope you'll join us at 0to3.org/AC Live. If you want any more mindfulness resources at 0 to 3, you can go to 0to3.org/mindfulness. We're going to be back here at the top of the next hour, 11 o'clock, with some information about one of our policy initiatives, Think Babies, so don't miss it. And we'll look forward to seeing you then.
Thanks.